a little bit of a guy that we all appreciate here because he was one of Oleg Taktarov's training partners way back, while they were in Russia together. And Oleg, when we mentioned him, kind of laughed and referred to him as his like nerdy brother. And he is kind of like that skinny, like wears glasses, like outside of the ring and stuff. But he's also a Sombo fighter, like you said, with a guard and trying for a triangle and stuff. So, talk about him and what that was like.
So I don't know who I'm fighting. They call me to the ring. He was introduced first, and I walk in the ring and I see this sort of, no disrespect, but a skinny guy. I don't know if he weighed 200 pounds, but, skinny. He did look like he's been in some fights. He had a crooked nose, a cauliflower ear.
Okay, wait. So in the back room, there wasn't a lineup of who you were fighting. You found out when you got called out.
Pretty much, yes. Now, I knew who I had in the semifinals because I was the first fight of the night, but I had no idea who I was fighting.
And now it's in the ring, right? It's not in a cage. It's in the ring.
It was a cage. This one was
okay.
Yeah.
Which I fought in a ring once and I hated it. I fell through the ropes. It was horrible.
Yeah.
So
all right. So let's stay on Maxim Tarasov. Okay, so bring us through the fight.
Okay, so I see this like skinny Russian guy that looks a little weathered, and I'm like, okay, this guy, I can't lose to him because I probably outweigh him by 50 or 60 pounds. But he does look like he's been in some damage in his life, probably more than I have. So, I don't know if he's a kickboxer. Back then, we didn't know anything about our fighters. I didn't know if he was a kickboxer, if he was jiu-jitsu or Sombo or anything. All I knew was my one thing, wrestling. I'm going to take you down and try to ground and pound you. So they say fight, and I, circle a little bit. I see like he's really, looking to kick me with his back leg. I go for a double leg, and I totally missed. I think I'm the first fighter to ever miss 100% on a double leg. Even the announcer's like, wow, you don't see that.
Oh, okay, so Nick, how were your nerves at this time?
Horrible.
What was it like backstage? Like, who did you warm up with?
Oh, horrible.
My jump rope.
So you had no one back there talking to you?
Honestly, from the time I got to the arena, my pants are still wet with salt water on them from the sea. They said, Nick, you're up in 5 minutes. I hit maybe 3 minutes of a jump rope, talked to Federico. And as we're talking, they're like, Nick Nutter. And I'm walking out there. Honestly, from the time I got to the arena till I was walking out there was at the most 6 minutes.
Hey, that's probably for the best, to be honest with you, man. No time to think about it.
They were probably waiting for you. It's like, shit, the crowd's like getting restless.
Yeah. We just went through your entrance music twice. Where have you been?
But that is really insane. But
now think about this from a promoter's standpoint. You got guys getting there less than 10 minutes before they're supposed to hit the ring. Man. I couldn't imagine feeling that. And you got your plane ticket last minute. They're not going to allow it in Israel. You got told that the bout got canceled. Federico Lependa, that stuff like that takes years off of your life. And English is not his first language. He speaks Portuguese, and he's operating an event in Israel.
Right.
With heavy Russian ties. Don't forget the heavy Russian ties.
Absolutely. Yes, heavy Russian ties. Okay, so you fight Tarasov, and how was his squeeze? When did you finally settle in? When did you get comfortable? Because everyone's first fight's their worst. Okay,
so like I said, the worst thing that could happen is I took my shot and I honestly just hit air. I missed. I didn't even touch his legs.
I think you hit the fence.
Huh?
You hit the fence.
No, I missed the fence. Thank God, because it was.
Did you miss it? It was close. On the video, I watched it.
So in the ref or the commentator made fun of it. I'm thinking, oh shit, this is gonna be horrible. You always hear of, back then you always hear of in everybody's hometown, there's Sensei Daryl or Sensei Mark, who is he's not allowed in the UFC because
it's too dangerous.
Death moves.
Yeah.
Kill, but he smokes cigarettes and he's fat. And I'm like, there's no way Sensei Mike is gonna fucking kick my ass. I guarantee it. But I'm thinking I might have just ran into Sensei Mike, and he's going to embarrass me in front of everybody. By the grace of God, I took another shot and I took him down. He did try some, submissions. I think, and you would know better than me, but I think he was a submission fighter, correct?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did Sombo.
Okay. But after a couple minutes, and honestly, Federico said, hold the position. And that maybe went on for 2 minutes. And then finally he's like, okay, go ahead, unleash yourself. And I ended up just, getting up and doing the ground and pound headbutts. And he ended
arm
up,
isolations too. You got him with a couple arm isolations, and you stuck in some real good punches. Yeah.
Yes. And I'm good at that stuff. Like, if I used to be like, okay, if I take away that arm, he can't defend this left hook coming over from the top. So I don't know. I think I had an uncanny ability to sort of just know where people's supports are.
Yeah, just a fight IQ. Yeah, you had a good fight IQ.
Yeah, I had a fight IQ probably before fight IQ was a thing. But no, I'm going to trap that arm down. And now, obviously, I'm going to go heavy with the left hand to the head until
wait. Is that something you guys practiced at Hammer House, or is that just something you did in that fight?
It's probably something I did in the fight. Like I said, I was the one in Hammer House with the IQ. Coleman just like, hey, I don't give a fuck. If you got both my arms, I'll hit you with my shoulders. But I tried to think a little bit more probably. And
that's not difficult, but go ahead.
And we love Mark.
Yeah, Mark's our guy. I just saw Mark last week. That's my buddy. Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
all right, so you get your hand raised. You actually
how did you finish him? How did you finish him? Did you finish him?
He tapped out from strikes, ground and pound.
Ooh. Now, let me ask, what was the time limit on the fight?
There was none.
Yeah.
No. That's not true. What it is was they were 30-minute rounds. And what happens is after that 30-minute round, if there was no winner, even if a guy was so dominant, they would go for a 5-minute overtime.
Okay.
Nick, I went crazy figuring it out. I saw the format. It didn't happen on this event, but it was on the next one. So I figured it's Federico Lopenda, same kind of rule set. So it's a 30-minute. So essentially what he just agreed to is he's got 3 fights, 90 potential minutes with an extra 5 minutes of each overtime on a flight that he gets to the event 10 minutes before he hits the ring, and he's hungover.
So Mike, I did not know that until I was fighting Igor. And
wait, that's the finals.
Okay,
we're gonna go step by. This is good stuff.
Okay, but I did not know those rules, but I was illuminated to it during that fight, and that's probably a good reason why I tapped because okay.
Nick, you're ruining the ending. Okay, it's spoiler alert.
Sorry.
Spoiler alert. Okay,
go to the next.
So what happens is, Nick, you win that fight.
Yes.
You have an adrenaline dump after that.
Oh, I feel good now because now I can go back and tell my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, like, shut up.
Not a pussy.
I'm not a pussy.